Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this study session on listening. Listening is one of the skills that you need to study effectively. And actually, listening is an activity that we carry out every day without being conscious of carrying out this activity. In this session, you will be able to know what listening is, differentiate between listening and hearing, identify the types of listening and situations that demand what type of listening. Then you will also be able to know the factors that hinder effective listening and what can stop you or hinder you from listening effectively. This is one session you should be conscious of and you should study vigorously so that you'll be able to learn without any hindrance or obstacle in this university, because listening is a key skill for your success in an open and distance learning institution. Welcome to this course on listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to our session on listening, which is one of the first in the series of skills that are supposed to help you study effectively in an open and distance learning institution. This is Olivier Adewale, your facilitator for GST 807. The intended learning outcomes for this session is as follows. List the importance of listening as a study skill. You should be able to identify strategies that will enhance effective listening. You should be able to define listening, explain types of listening, distinguish between listening and hearing, identify the type of listening that could be applied to various situations, and above all, you should be able to identify barriers to effective listening. Now, listening is a daily activity. It involves receiving sound through the ears, processing the sounds into meaningful beats. Now, listening is a more intense and mental activity whereby meaning is assigned to sounds received by the brain. Now, this is the demarcation between listening and hearing. Hearing is a physiological process. The hearer is passive and it is a physical activity received by the ear. While listening is a cognitive process, it is active and it makes use of the mental faculty. Listening is one essential skill to succeed in your study. Now, you can listen in general and you can listen for specific purposes. Listening in a social setting is listening in general. Listening to get information or direction is listening for a specific purpose. To be successful in the ODL environment, you must become an active learner. And to do this, you have to improve your interpersonal and verbal communication skills. The following are the strategies for effective listening. Stop talking and pay attention. Now that means you should not interrupt the speaker. You should not try to help the speaker complete a sentence. You should maintain eye contact with the speaker, especially when you are in a live session, and you should also empathize with the speaker. You have to remove physical and mental distractions. You have to be alert to non-verbal cues from the speakers, and you must take notes. And this is the most disciplined aspect of listening. The following are the types of the purposes of listening. The active or attentive listening. This is when the listener focuses on understanding the speaker's words and message accurately, taking in the verbal cues and the non-verbal cues. An example is when you have to listen to the classroom lectures or even listen to this video or any other activity on your portal. It's an academic thing. Then we have the critical or analytical listening. This is when listening involves the ability to evaluate and analyze the message you are receiving. The focus is to evaluate whether the message is logical and reasonable, so to enable you decide accepting or rejecting it. And I have to be frank with you, this type of listening is very scarce in the world today. People accept everything they hear, hook, line, and sinker. Appreciative listening. This is when you are listening for pure pleasure and enjoyment. So, listening to music, radio, TV sometimes fall under this category. The listener's response defines appreciative listening, not the source or the speaker. Now, what are the advantages of learning through listening? It increases your academic understanding, it improves your communication skills, it helps you to develop the ability to block out distractions, it increases your retention, and it helps you to increase your vocabulary. What are the barriers to effective listening? We have physical barriers like those who have hearing impairment and also a noisy environment. We have physiological barrier which has to do with the mental or the physical state of the listener. We have psychological barriers which have to do with feelings, prejudices, ego, and anxiety. We have linguistic barriers which can be caused as a result of the speaker using technical languages and the listener is disconnected. And we also have perceptual barriers which has to do with the speaker and the listener looking at the same situation from different viewpoints. Essential components of listening. This include hearing or receiving, comprehending or understanding, remembering, evaluating, and responding. Now, to become a skilled listener, you must be prepared to listen. You must concentrate on the speaker's content and context. Ask questions when the time is right, and above all, take notes. Now, because note taking is a very, very skilled activity within the realm of listening, before we go into that, we will class activity. Distinguish between hearing and listening. Try to write out the differences in these two activities involved in listening. Let's face facts. Listening cannot take place without hearing. But you can hear without listening. I wish you a happy discussion here. Note taking. Now, the note taking has 5 methods: the Cornell, the outline, the mapping, the charting, and the sentence method. We will look briefly at the following method. Now, this is the Cornell method, and if you look at this method, you see that the page has 2 unequal columns and then another column below, which is the summary column. In the small column, you have the Q column, and in the large column, you have the notes column. Then below, you have the summary of whatever is above here. Now, I will wish that you study this Cornell method, note-taking method, very well. Now, we'll go on to which is the outlining method, and that involves the use of indentation or dash. Wherein you have your main topic, you have your subtopic 1, key points under the subtopic, subtopic 2, key points under the subtopic, and if you look at the way this is charted out, the subtopic number 1 is indented from the main topic, and the point under subtopic is also indented. So this helps you when you come back to study to know this, you'll be able to know all these demarcations easily. Now, the mapping method is usually a diagram, and look at what how it looks like here. Here is your main topic, subtopic 1, subtopic 2, key details here, point 1, point 2, point 3, and you keep that. That's why they call it mapping, because you are the one actually mapping out what you have had. Again, we have here the charting method, and the charting method has its page divided into rows and columns, which is almost of equal size. Main topic, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, and then point 1 details under each of this topic. The next is the sentence method, and this is just simple. The point under the main topic is given out sentence by sentence. Now, remember, the goal of taking notes is to help you recall and retain what you have learned over a period of time. And for you to be a skilled note taker, you must use a method that you are comfortable with. As we come to the end of this subsection on note taking, let's take this activity. Try out this method of note taking as you go through your online classes and determine what method is natural to you. Then concentrate on that method as you study in other courses. Thank you for listening to this session. Play this video over again and again and learn from it.